Let's go down to the grid where I think Hui Ling is braving the heat, but getting under umbrellas to talk to the top riders.
All right, thank you. That's down here on the grid for the 250cc race 2. And I'm really impressed with the crowd here in China because they've been sitting under the hot sun with us the entire day. So now I'm here at P19 with Senthil Kumar. Senthil, your first season in the 250cc, of course. How are you managing and what's the learning progress so far?
Yeah, I learned a lot from this season and I'm improving step by step. And about today, I have a good confidence on this race. So hopefully I have to finish in the top 15.
All right, thank you so much, Senthil. All the best. Good luck. And starting behind Senthil, we're going to try to talk to a Chinese Taipei female rider. So we have a few female riders on the grid this year. One of it is Liu Junmei. So Liu Junmei, your first year with the 250cc class in the ARRC. What are your thoughts and impressions, and how has your progress been going?
对，很有挑战，我想要继续努力下去吧，
Thank you so much. So what Liu Junmei say, it's a big challenge, but she is looking forward every race to try to keep learning, and hopefully she will be able to continue racing in the Asian Championship. So alongside her is one of the wildcard that we have this year, Zhou Junjie. So this is of course your first race back. We've seen you before in the Asian Dream Cup. This is your first time with the 250. How has the race weekend been at your home race?
这一场就希望能比上一场有一些进步吧，因为这是第一次参加这个 AP2稳人组，还需要学习很多东西。
Okay, thank you so much. So this is what he mentions, that this is his first time competing at 250. So he of course hopes to do his very best in the second race in front of all the fans here at Zhuhai International Circuit. So back to Des and Barry in the studio.
That is one very talented pit lane reporter we've got down there, Hui Ling with the questions, the translations. She's also the master of ceremonies. She does a fabulous job for the Asia Road Racing Championship. She's one of the backbones of this competition. It's all about the riders, though, Barry Russell, and it's great to maybe be able to focus on some of those who we don't mention so much. The Chinese Taipei contender has raced in every race, Junmei, not picked up any points, but is getting closer. Her best position was at a 17th position, so she's getting closer to the points.
Yeah, this class is noted for bringing riders through from countries that are not so well developed in racing. We also, of course, then spoke with Senthil, the Indian rider. India is putting a huge amount of effort into making their objective is to find a racing icon. And not only have they got these two riders, Senthil and Setu Rajiv, in this championship, they've also invested in a whole fleet of Moto3 machines, and they have their own series now to try and bring riders into Moto3 mode in India. So interesting to see them, and also Cal Vietnam looking now though at championship leader and Andy Fadley, who's 5th yesterday.
Well, talk to us, because Andy Mohamed Fadley, if he wins today, there's a danger, and I use that in inverted commas, he could go 50 points clear of the 5th place rider. That has consequences. Please explain.
It certainly does. These bikes are running with the ARRC ECU, and part of what that's used for is to equalise the series. So when a rider gets more than 25 points clear of another in the top 5, they get a 500 RPM maximum rev cut. Now, it's not only that, because if they go 50 points clear of another rider in the top 5, they get another 500 rev cut. So Andy Fadley is looking at that. The first cut hasn't affected his performance too badly, although we've seen him 5th rather than at the front. But we also have another 2 riders that picked up that rev cut yesterday in the shape of the 2 Astra Honda riders, Irfan Ardiancia and Owen Sanjaya. So there are 5 riders on this grid. They are Andy Fadley, Irfan Ardiancia, Owen Sanjaya, Mukladar Sarapech, and Aiki Iyoshi, the Japanese rider.
The girls have done their work for now, at least. Tell you what, those umbrellas are very, very much needed that they're carrying, because it is searingly hot out there. Start engine sign is up, 1 minute to go. With the reductions, are we likely to see a tactical race from Andy Mohamed Fadli and Arwin Sanjaya in that, yes, they want to win, but they don't want to get so far ahead that they actually get themselves into troubles?
I suspect so, and I think the way that Andy Fadley's been riding this weekend, and to a certain extent from race 2 in Japan, that could be on his mind. Let's remember, he's got a very canny team manager in the shape of Katsuaki Fujiwara, so that will be on his mind. He doesn't want another 500 brake cut.
It's an all-Indonesian front row. Rafid Topan Susito, yesterday's race 1 winner, alongside Andy Mohamed Fadli on the Kawasaki, the championship leader. Irfan Ardiansa in 3rd place in the championship, just 4 points behind Arwin Sanjaya, who is 4th. So Indonesia 1, 2, 3, 4 and 6. Maklada Sarupet injured right leg and all is in the 5th row. Let's see how competitive she can be today. Tachikon and Piawat, you mentioned, on the Honda CBR 250s, alongside Angie Setiawan from Yamaha Racing on row 3. Row 4, Iyoshi, Nazrul Izab Baharudin and Izam Ikmal, and you'd be thinking those on row 4 and 5 might be thinking, hey, there's a chance here that we can get ourselves into some kind of points. Setu Rajiv alongside Muzakir Mohammed and Ray Ratukore, who led at one stage in race number 1 yesterday, on row 5. Mohamed Fairozi, fresh off the Suzuka 4 Hours, and Cao Vietnam, who you mentioned, from Honda Racing Vietnam, and Sutipat completing row 6. There are 26 riders in all. Setil we spoke to on the Honda CBR 50 on row 19, in P19, alongside Sawapol and Harith Hazik Zamri from Malaysia. Liu Junmei we spoke to, and Zhou Cheng. It was good to hear from those on row 8. Mio Nakahara has dropped down from the 600s to the 250s, and the 2 Johnson boys, Kevin and Stuart, who have been regulars on this circuit on the Kawasaki Ninjas BRP Racing, at the tail of the queue. So they are our 26 starters. Does get congested.
Yes, it does, because you mentioned so many riders that are on the 4th and 5th rows that are capable of winning. Nazrul Izzat has been strong all year. He's capable of getting on the podium. All 3 of those Thai Honda riders, Tachikon Piawat and Muklada will be looking perhaps for a race win and minimum podium today. So hopefully they've got their fueling problems sorted out. They were better, team manager told me after warm-up. Will they be competitive today? We can see. But Rafid Topan, he's certainly got his tail up. He was quick in Suzuka, but he didn't quite manage to put a decent race together. Yesterday he put a perfect race together, and he'll be looking to do that again today from pole position.
And with the rev restrictions, if you put in together 4 or 5 big races, you're not affected by them going into the final race of the season. So Rafid Topan, if he picks up another victory here and then capitalizes on that in Sepang in the next round, he could be in a position where he's genuinely challenging for the championship.
Yeah, he could well be. And wouldn't that be good? There's his team there on screen. The smiles that they had at the end of the race yesterday aren't quite there yet, but I'm sure they've got them packed away and ready for another decent finish.
So they're the numbers to look out for. Bike 911 on the right of the circuit. The first corner is a sharp right, but the pole position is on the right of this main straight. In the Kawasaki garage, Andy Mohamed Fadli's team. Oh, that's nervous energy there. He's going to look at the phone and tweak of the muscles. The red flag is up, and everybody is on their grid position. Searing heat.
Yeah.
Final check for everybody. The red lights will go on. It's a 10-lap race, and when they go off, we will be underway. Andy Mohamed Fadli, a little bit of a wheelie to get himself, but Rafid Topan has made a final start at the front, and Rafid Topan, bike 911, will be leading going in. Tachikon, bike 149, has made a move on the inside as well, and Tachikon's got himself up into P3 from as low down as P7. Good start from the Thai, who you mentioned.
Very good start, and those Thai Hondas, they'll be hurting from having been pushed down the order by their Indonesian Honda relatives.
Andy Mohamed Fadli on the Kawasaki is the man who leads into turn 5 and 6 as they go up what little bit of a hill there is here at Zhuhai. It is a fairly flat track, but there's a tiny little bit of undulation there as they just come down into the... It's like a W on the far side of the track, and it's Andy Mohamed Fadli leads into that sharp right-hand corner, gets himself into prime position. No major contact, everybody a little bit circumspect and a little bit strung out already early on in this race, Byron.
Yeah, and as they came into turn 5, I noticed Muqtada got sandwiched between two other riders and knocked off course. She's dropped well down the order. She's outside the top 10 now, so not the best of starts for her. Riding with the injuries that she is.
Muqtada had a very quick second section, the fastest of all, under 36 second in sector 2. As you say, she was just knocked off course. Rafid Topal is the man who leads at the front from Andy Mohamed Fadli. Irfan Ardiancia is in there. Also Tachikon Basri in the AP Honda Thailand in P4. Behind him, Irfan Ardiancia in P5. Looking down for Muqtada. Andy Mohamed Fadli takes the quick corner. Takes Arwin Sanjaya with him. It's Fadli from Sanjaya. And coming through is Tachikon into P3. Worth keeping an eye out on Tachikon on bike 149. The black helmet hunkers down and actually takes the lead going into the first corner of lap 2.
Yeah, he's a really good rider. He got his first podium in this series. I think he's 16 years old. He got his first podium in race 1, I think, at Suzuka. Very much fancied by his AP Honda Masters. And Irfan Ardiancia moving into the lead there. I can't see any particular effect yet from that 500 RPM cut.
Muqtada Sarapwech has got herself back in amongst the leading pack. The lovely pink helmet of Irfan Ardiancia makes him very easy to pick out. He's in P2, but it is actually Tachikon who has had a win this year. That took me by surprise as well. He had a terrific time in Buriram, first and a second in Buriram. We've got a bike in the gravel bed at turn 14. The man in trouble is Stuart Johnson. That's right at the very tail. The focus is on the front, and Muqtada Sarapwech. I saw her hobbling around the pit lane yesterday, and you say she's a tough woman, but if you're carrying an injury like she is, it must be difficult mentally.
Yeah, she reiterated to me again today that oh, it's no problem, it's no problem. So anyway, she's ignoring it, choosing to ignore it, as you'd expect from such a tough competitor. And who's that down? Is that Yoshi?
A couple are out there. There's one rider, Hertz, still on the floor, and one rider very, very angry. We'll get confirmation of who that is in just a moment. It might be Yoshi. That might be one of the riders, but Andy Mohamed Fadli, well, we were wondering whether or not he was just going to hold back a little bit, because he's in danger of picking up those rev handicaps, but he was leading over the line. Now he's dropped down into P3. Arwin Sanjaya takes the lead, but less than a second. This is crazy. 250 cc's, less than a second separating 9 bikes. There is the casualty right at the back. It is Muhammad Fairozi, the Indonesian Yamaha Indonesia racing team.
Yep, another very good rider, but he's down out of this one. I'm just looking a little bit further down the order. I see Cal Vietnam is up in 11th position. He's going better than he was yesterday. So Mukmal and Bahudin in 10th, and Izak in 9th. Going very well.
Setu Rajiv also in the points as well. He's in P14. 2.8 seconds down. It's a very, very bunched group. Although I'm saying it was strung out a little bit, it is bunched up. So there's a yellow flag on turn 10, which is a turn that they are just beyond here.
Yeah, it's that bike 36 that stopped at turn 11, so showing the yellow at turn 10.
36 is Fairozi, who we spoke about. And here is the leader, Arwin Sanjaya. And Andy Mohamed Fadli has dropped, and Rafid Topan has joined that leading group once again. He stayed away just a little bit. There's a lead still down there, and he's worrying.
Need at least double yellows for that. Race control will be taking a very hard look at that. We should have time to clear everything out of the way, provided the rider's not injured.
Coming through though, in the lead is Irfan Ardyansa. Bike number 16 leads the way. The lead is 0.137 from Arwin Tachikon, Andy Mohammed and Rafid Topan. Again, it's really, really close. 1.5 seconds from P1 down to P10. How Vietnam the best of the rest.
Muqtada moving up as well. She crossed the line in 6th, but I think she's taken another place since crossing the line and going through turn 1. Tachikon got back to the front.
He has. He's just in 2nd place was Tachikon. He is going to be a competitor. You did call it. You did call it. This is the Asia Production Series, race 2 of the weekend, round 5 of the season. 10 races after this have been completed, 4 still to go. Bags of points still up for grabs, and Arwin Sanjaya currently 2nd in the championship standings, 15 points adrift of Andy Mohammed Fadli leads this race. Looking to see if Rafid Topan is able to make any kind of impact. Currently he's in P5, his bike 9111.
Yeah, Lucky Hendriancia, who's, dare I say, 3rd of these Astra Honda riders. He's a little further back than you might have expected. He's a full 9/10 of a second off the lead, but he's in 7th position and can't be ruled out of this race. He is one of the riders that is unhindered by any kind of rev cut.
Yellow flags are still being waved as they come round. Okay, so the injured rider who's at that part of the track has been cleared. Bank 36 Fairozi is the instant for the yellow flag, which is still being raised at turns 10 and 11, which doesn't involve these leading riders as they go through with 6 laps to go. It'll be Arwin from Irfan, from Tachikon, Lucky Hendriansa, Rafid Topan. Muqtada, as you say, is back in that leading group. Bike number 44, you do not counter out, nor do you count out Andy Mohammed Fadli, or somebody you picked out early on, Nazrul Izzat.
Yeah, Izzat, he's a rider very much that I fancy in this championship this year. He could be one of the leaders when we come into next year, but he's going really well. Rafid Topan taking his time. Yesterday we saw him up at the front for most of the race.
Arwin Sanjaya has moved back quite a lot. There's a lot of jockeying. Rafid Topan needing to take some evasive action as they come down this long straight. There's Rafid in P4, Muqtada behind him in P5, and the Kawasaki of Andy Mohammed is pushed very, very wide into the track trim, but it's your mate Tachikon who leads the way. Behind him, Lucky Hendriansa. Rafid Topan slides into that corner, and the grip not looking the best on some of these bikes as we approach the midway point of this race.
Yeah, the surface, all the riders have said, is quite slippery. It's very hard-packed surface, so the riders, they are given tyres for this, but where you can choose the tyres in ASB 1000, they're going for the sticky ones. And I'll tell you what, Des, he makes it easy for us to spot him, but Irfan Ardyansa with that huge pink helmet on his head, I'm sure it's a couple of sizes too big, but he's been there or thereabouts for the whole of this race, as has Tachikon. Those 2 riders are looking very good, as is Mr. Stealthy Arwin Sanjaya on bike number 198, and off goes Lucky.
Wow, not so lucky.
No, but he keeps it pinned and he's back on. Doesn't seem to have made any difference at all.
Hiyoshi in trouble, clearly a long way behind, as the pink helmet of Irfan leads the way as they go out into the countryside. There's the long straight in front of the main stand, and then they go on this W-shaped tour of the countryside in Zhuhai towards the mountains without actually gaining any elevation. Irfan Ardyansa, again, the difference between 1 and 8, and Ray Ratakore is in that top 8, less than a second. It is remarkable racing at the AP 250 level.
The fastest man on track at the moment is Lucky Hendriansa, last time around, but Irfan is there at the front. Tachikon is staying very close to the front, and another little excursion there. I think that might have been Fadli that went wide there.
So lucky Henry Answer on the start-finish line. Take almost a couple of 100 yards on the dirt. It hasn't seemed to affect him though. He's in third place at the moment, behind Irfan Ardiansha.
Yeah, good grip on this grass in southern China.
Quality grass. Leading the way is Irfan. Behind him, Tachikon. And then Irfan. Muklada still hanging in there, very happily holding in into fourth place at the moment. Andy Mohammed Fadli in the green Kawasaki livery has got himself back in amongst that leading group as well. And Arvind Sanjay has been dropped. 188 Piawat has made a move as well into that group. So plenty of congestion as they whiplash around the final corner. It's nicely done by Irfan Ardiansha, who will lead from Tachikon, and Muklada goes into P3. And we've got 4 laps to go. Barry Russell building up nicely.
Very nicely indeed. And there's 2 of the Thai Hondas in the leading group, which we didn't see yesterday. Muklada was there off and on, albeit briefly. But Tachikon is back up there today. And some more dust being kicked up, but plenty of grip just outside the track there.
It is quality grass, isn't it? Fabulous stuff. Barry Russell, the encyclopedia of Southeast Asian motor racing, in the analyst chair for today as this AP250 race just begins to pick up some pace. Muklada Sarapwech, bike number 44, has a clear view of the back wheel of Irfan Ardiansha. Irfan, bike 16, alongside Tachikon Wazri. Tachikon in the black helmet has been there or thereabouts, and Tachikon is actually leading. Muklada says to those behind her, you stay away, let me make this charge.
Yeah, and intra-team competition being what it is, Muklada won't want to finish behind Tachikon. She'll be delighted if she's first and he's second.
Going down nicely on the inside was Muklada. There's a bit of contact there. Is that actually a lucky Hendriansha who's made a move through as well? Just look over the shoulder from number 12, Lucky Hendriansha. Rafid Topan was toppled by Arvind and Sanjaya. 2.5 laps to go. Again, it's incredibly tight. Top 7, barely half a second between them.
Yeah, Rafid Topan just on the back of the front 6 there. It's just about in touch, but this front 4 looks really good. And it is 2 Indonesian Hondas. Oh!
Lucky came off hard and did Lucky not to take anybody out with him. He's held on to P3, Lucky Hendriansha.
Yeah, lucky by name, lucky by nature that time.
There's the hard cornering coming in once again. And Muklada going round the outside. She is aggressive, isn't she? And it was Muklada's aggression that caused Lucky heart palpitations.
Yeah, she leaned right into him. Then we couldn't see from that angle how much contact there was, but I think there was some. And our friends in Race Direction will be taking a look at that too.
But Muklada into P2.
Well, she's literally muscled her way up to second place now.
That'll teach me to doubt her and think that injury is really impacting her, because now she's making a move for P1. Still 2.5 laps to go. There's still plenty of time left for many changes, but it's Muklada Sarapwech who has muscled her way into P1, AP250, race number 2, round 5 of the season here in Zhuhai. Still got to visit Sepang and the season ender at Buriram, and this title is wide open for collection at the moment. Andy Mohammed Fadli leads the way, but Andy Mohammed Fadli is somewhere down in 10th place in this particular race, by
Yeah, he did drift. He has drifted back quietly. He's out of touch with this leading group.
In the green livery, just at the back there, Rafid Topan also struggling to keep up with the pace. Arvind Sanjaya slides into P1 ahead of Muklada. Late braking for Arvind Sanjaya. Muklada had to take evasive action, and it's cost her 2 places. Lucky Hendriansha going through on the inside as well. It allows Tachikon to pull forward, as well as Rafid Topan.
Yeah, 3 abreast as they approach the braking area for this turn.
Muklada forced very wide, and she is in P4. She was leading P1 as they are shoulder to shoulder going over the line. Would you believe, 0.891 of a second from Arvind Sanjay in first to Piawat in 7th, just 1.388 down to Andy Mohammed Fadli in 11th.
Yeah, Irfan turned into the first corner there. Irfan still there. And Rafid Topan, he's keeping himself in touch as well.
Piawat has made a move late on, as there is Rafid Topan, who you were just talking about, yesterday's race winner and the pole setter, so clearly knows. But look at bike 188, Piawat. We've not mentioned Piawat, and suddenly he's up into P4 and threatening for the lead. You can see just makes that turn into P4. Look, Maglada Sarapec has dropped down from P1 to P5. So many changes, and we're going to see an awful lot more before the race ends.
Yeah, we are. Yesterday it was all about the Astra Hondas, but the AP Hondas, it's the Indonesia versus Thailand, the AP Hondas from Thailand are very much up there. All three riders from both teams are in the mix now.
Ray Ratakuri also in that little group, bike 222 just at the back. There, maybe a little bit too far back. Maglada has a look. Arwin Sanjaya leads the procession. Rafid Topan in third place. Maglada takes a different line as she goes around the outside of Rafid Topan. Tries to hold on, but Rafid holds his line. Nonetheless, Maglada jockeys for position, and I think she's got the better of Rafid Topan. No, she hasn't. Rafid's just been able to hold on in P3, and now instead she's under pressure from Piawat. Oh, terrific stuff.
Yeah, she lost momentum when she went wide then in that little manoeuvre, but now she's right back on the back wheel of Rafid Topan in fourth position, and there's a little gap from those back to Piawat.
Final lap, Rafid Topan decides he wants to make a statement. So does Maglada Sarapec. It is Maglada who leads. We are into the final 13 corners of race 2 of this AP 250. Hunkers down over the handlebars. Maglada makes herself as small as possible. The grid comes into play once again. Maglada is still leading. Rafid Topan in the yellow helmet, as is bike Arwin Sanjaya, bike 198. What a ride from Maglada Sarapec. Is she able to hold on?
Let's see. You really don't want to call that. The Irfan is still there, as he always seems to be in this class, and Rafid now making his move. He goes through to second.
But defending her line was Maglada Sarapec, making sure if anyone is going past her, Irfan Ardiancha or whoever, they are going to have to work really hard. Rafid Topan, fastest bike in qualification. He is alongside Maglada Sarapec. Foot down from Maglada. Maglada in first. Rafid through on the inside. Proper dueling for P1. Maglada weaves her bike to make the vehicle, but Rafid Topan takes the lead. And Maglada is gobbled up by the pack. She tries to hold on to her space. Rafid Topan it is who leads coming into this right-hand corner. Maglada, there is collision. Maglada is down. She is one of three who is left in the dirt. It means Rafid Topan is available with Irfan Ardiancha to try to make it a win, a double for him this weekend.
Sad sight there. I think that's Tachikorn and Muqtada down then.
But Rafid Topan comes round the final corner. Rafid Topan, a double victory for Rafid. He stayed out of danger. Rafid Topan, Susito wins it by 0.093 from Irfan, and Piawat Patumi in P3. But what a race again, final lap, mayhem. And there is the carnage.
Fantastic race, impossible to call, but a great result from Rafid Topan, who showed some real quality. He put himself in the right place as he needed to. Let's have another look.
Maglada, bike number 44, she's desperately trying to hold on. Tachikorn is bike 149, and it's Tachikorn who catches somebody on the outside, and poor old Maglada has nowhere to go.
I think it was Tachikorn catching Muqtada then that caused that crash, reminiscent of what happened at Suzuka last year, where she clashed with Krichaporn and ended up with a broken left wrist. So both riders trudging off there after such a disappointing race for them. But Piawat held up the flag for Thailand and for AP Honda. He came through really well from one of the lower positions in that leading group to third. And the man that always seems to be there in the last few races, Irfan Ardiancha, was second for Astra Honda.
You're quite right for Irfan Ardiancha. It's his 5th podium in the last 6 races, and the one he missed was a P4 as well. That is consistency from Irfan And with Andy Mohamed Fadli low down in the points, he will make real progress in the overall championship standings, Irfan Ardiansya. But dramatic final lap, and Maglada's bravery was the big story, but in the end she will come out of this pointless. Rafid Topan 25 points, Irfan Ardiansya 20, Pirwat will pick up 16, Lucky 13, Ray Ratakore will be happy with that day's work, 11 points for him. Angie Setiawan, who we didn't mention in the race, comes through to pick up 10 points. Muzakir and Najl Izzat also in the points as well. But 1 second between 1 and 4, and that included 3 who crashed out. Andy Mohamed Fadli, maybe wisely, just holding off the gas a little bit. Great result for Setu Rajiv. The Indian picks up a 10th place for him. Sutipat, Izam Iqmal, Kao Vietnam in the points as well, as is Sauerpol. And Zhao Sheng, who we spoke to beforehand, he's picked up a single point as well. Sentil, though, 17th. Lu Jun Mei, again, it's close to her best performance of the season, where she had a P17, but still out of the points. But she won that little battle with Miu Nakahara, and Ayoshi is also down the line as well. There is Maglada trudging back.
Yeah, she's going to be absolutely distraught about this. I think there are tears there. Not surprising, that's so frustrating. She leaves nothing in the garage every time. And when something like that happens at the end, she knew in her own mind she was on for a podium or possibly even the win, and suddenly it's gone.
Well, she took many, many risks, but she won't be in the final Parc Ferme. But Wheeling is in the Parc Ferme, and she's just trying to negotiate at the moment her way to interview the top 3 riders. There is Rafid Topan, and I think we can go down to Wheeling amongst all the confusion down there. Wheeling, who have you got for us?
Okay, down here at Parc Ferme with Piawat, who picked up his very first podium in the 250cc class. Piawat, there was a little confusion and a crash during the final lap. Share with us what happened.
ตอนนี้บอกไปเลยว่าเขาถามว่าตอนเขาลงครั้งสุดท้ายมันเป็นยังไงความรู้สึกเรา
อ๋อผมขี่มาก็ข้างหน้าพอดีมีคันหนึ่งเขายกลึกไปแล้วคันหลังมาชนแล้วพอดีพี่มุกก็ชนซ้ำแล้วผมก็พอดีจังหวะรอบดีเลยครับ
She have a focus in a accident and know how to decide to correct the way to go on and get the target.
Okay, so anything else you want to add for getting your first podium in the 250?
รู้สึกยังไงกับโพเดียมนี้ซึ่งเป็นโพเดียมแรก
ดีใจมากครับเพราะว่ารอคอยมานานแล้วครับเราก็ฟิตซ้อมร่างกายมาทุกเดือนเพื่อที่อยากจะมาคว้าโพเดียมที่นี่ครับและที่ต่อไปครับ
This race is waiting a long time but finally can get the podium and we hope next time we get the well too.
Okay, thank you so much, Piawat. Congratulations. And coming in second place today is Irfan Adrian Shah. Irfan, congratulations. We continue to see you racking up podium finishes here in the 250cc class. But, however, it's never an easy one. You're not only battling your rivals, you're also battling your own teammates throughout the race.
Actually, I'm happy to be on the podium again. Also, we are close to the top with Fadli. That's why I smile. So today very hard race, and actually I just try to keep my rhythm to be on the front and finally to be on the podium happy, and we try again in Sepang. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Irfan. And today's race winner, our double winner for this weekend here at Zhuhai International Circuit, Rafid Topan Sucipto. Topan, once again, we see you coming from behind towards the second half of the race. Is this part of your race strategy to always wait towards the second half before you attack for the win?
Yes, this I start from behind of my group because this is my strategy. I can look strategy of another rider, and then I can save, and then I have technique for get the number 1, and then my win number 1 present to Independent Day Indonesia. Thank you so much for all people in my country, always pray for me, and please give me sponsor for continue next year.
All right, well said, Rafi Topan. Thank you so much, and we'll see all 3 riders on the podium shortly.
Hey, if you've got a stage, you may as well use it. If you win back-to-back, what better time is there to actually say, hey, come on, sponsors, let's, I've got talent, I've got ability, put your money behind us.
Absolutely right, and this is his second round that he's ridden for that team. It's a brand new team enthusiasts who've supported him.
This is a race recap from the race that we've just seen, and Rafid Topan starting in pole position on the left of the screen as we look. But there were incidents throughout this race. It was a fabulous race. Tachikon came in, Rafid Topan bike 9.11, Andy Mohammed Fadli with the early pace. But it was Tachikon who impressed in the early stages of the race. Bike 149 in the black helmet. You'd picked him out before, Barry Russell. What's impressed you about Tachikon this season to make you think that he can compete?
Well, he's a young rider. He's learned a lot from riding with Muqtada, but now he's making his own way. He was confident throughout this race. He stayed at the front. He was unlucky to have had that little clipping with Muqtada on the last turn to go down. But the man you can see at the front there, Fernardi Ansia, the consistency of his performances points to him being a real threat in this championship. We thought it was going to be all about Fadli and Muqtada at the start of the season, but this young fella has come through and shown what he's made of.
You mentioned Muqtada Sarapech, bike number 44. She would have a huge part to play in the narrative of this race. She ends up pointless though. Here she is, she's around about P6, P7. We're wondering whether or not she's able to make an impression, and then suddenly, kaboom, she makes a move there. She is into P4, a couple of overtaking maneuvers, muscling away into P3 as they cross the start-finish line. This woman is a natural competitor.
Yeah, she is. She's really aggressive. The other riders are, in some cases, openly frightened of her because when she's coming through, she's coming through. And like I said a few minutes ago, she leaves absolutely nothing in the garage. She puts her heart into it every time out. And when she gets disappointed, that is also pretty obvious.
Here, what you mentioned as another to keep an eye out on, but the Muqtada race, she really gave it a go. It was a real battle. At this stage it looked like it'd be one between the pace of Muqtada and Rafid Topan, but in the final lap, as we're just about to come into, Rafid Topan was able to hold off Irfan Ardiansha. We've missed in the highlights there an incident that took out Muqtada. It took out Tachikon. That was the real story, although I suppose the real story is gleaning sponsorship for Rafid Topan Susito.
After you don't get that many double victories in this class.
Okay, we can go down to the podium where Wheeling, our translator extraordinaire, our interviewer extraordinaire, is also our master of ceremonies extraordinaire.
We'll begin the podium ceremony for the Asia Production 250cc Race 2. Coming in third place today, PR1 Patumayos from AP Honda Racing Thailand. In second place, Irfan Ardiansha from Astra Honda Racing Team. And today's Race 2 winner, Rafid Topan Suchipto from Bike Corner SYS KYT Racing Team. I'd like to invite a representative from Bike Corner SYS KYT Racing Team to join the riders on the podium. We will now stand for the national anthem of Indonesia. to invite Miss Apple Gong, the Secretary General of China Automobile and Motorcycle Federation, to present the riders with their trophies. Coming in third place today from Thailand, Piawat Patumayos. In second place from Indonesia, Irfan Adriansyah. And today's race 2 winner from Indonesia, Rafid Topan Sucipto. The best team award today goes to Bike Corner SYS KYT Racing Team.
A special kiss for the winner from Apple Gong, the Secretary General of the China Automobile and Motorcycle Federation, for Rafid Topan Sucipto. Let's mention his team, the Bike Owner SYS KYT Racing Team. As Barry Russell said to me off mic, it's very rare for a team that's not one of the manufacturers to get a double victory. Barry Russell, a brilliant achievement.
Yeah, I can't think of another one right as we sit here, but regardless of that, it's a fantastic achievement for Rafid Topan and for Bike Corner SYS KYT Racing.
What
Brilliant
does it mean
stuff.
to the championship standings? Well, it means that Rafid Topan still isn't in the top 8. Andy Mohammed Fadli leads by 5 points from Irfan Ardiansha. Arwin Sanjaya on 124 in the Honda. Maglada Sarupech, despite crashing out on the last lap there, she remains in the top 4 and is a magnificent competitor. Lucky Hendriansa, Ayoshi, Ray Ratakori and Tachikon, who also crashed out, they complete the top 8. The reward for Rafid Topan comes in that he closes in on the top 8. He's moved into the top 10 and there's 4 races still to go. If he can maintain this kind of form when we go to Sepang and also onto Buran for the final races, you never know, he could make a late surge for the title. Setu Rajiv is in 16th place, and as we prepare ourselves for the final 2 races of what has been an epic weekend racing so far, and the best is still to come. This is the Asia Road Racing Championships. We're in Zhuhai, China. Do join us again. We're back with you in 2 minutes' time.